Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Jesse Jackson III, best-selling author and facilitator of the Don't Kick 'Em Out book and training series. Really excited here. I'm on site today in one of my favorite schools. Just completed an awesome training with the staff and also did a special session with our students. It's really dynamic. I love it here at this school. Now, one thing I want to share with us that I think is going to help really big time is that schools going into next year have to make some tough decisions, and one of them is you have to make a decision not to continue to do the things that you have been doing. Guys, you have to understand as the challenges increase, we have to increase our effort and our approach to things. So while I understand we have to transform, we have to go about it a more comprehensive and intelligent way. Right now, we're still running the same program. So a lot of districts have a part of their strategic plans and school improvement plans. They're going to do all of this great material, this great stuff, and they want to implement all these new things and new initiatives. Well, the problem's going to come with is they're not going to change their approach to implementation. What do I mean? Take one thing that a lot of districts do, a lot of schools do, and don't really realize it, an old way of doing things. What they typically tend to do is they like to load up on training at the beginning of the year. So they'll have teachers come back 2 weeks early, and they will give them PD for 2 weeks prep time. Then that is intended to last an entire school year, and they don't get any more training. Well, what we found 3 years ago, and we started to see the schools that we have successfully helped to dig themselves out of bad places or maintain a high level or manage a crisis, we noticed what they did. They used the right training to start the school year off. They revisited it right around October and November, revisited again in November, then revisited again to close out the school year in April or May. What happened? The staff got support throughout the course of the year. So they went away from this one and done philosophy where they think you can motivate and pump people up, when that's exactly not what we're looking for. We're looking to increase our knowledge and to sustain our energy. If you're doing training and the staff is not being energized, not being made aware of details, which gives them hope and encouragement, your training program's not working. So we can't continue to keep doing what loses. And I'm telling you, people are doing, right now, they'll go get a big name speaker to come back for their convocation, get everybody pumped up, get a motivational talk. And by the middle of September, we're right back at what we were doing last school year. That doesn't work. It's not even wise. It's not intelligent. And once again, you have to realize, I'm a speaker, but I'm a trainer. And a trainer actually can execute everything the speaker says. So I actually execute everything I'm teaching. You can see today I'm working with students. I undertook a matter where, you gotta remember, I'm still involved in private practice. My practice is about working with kids that have these problems, working with kids that are locked up, working with kids trying to rehabilitate their behavior. I'm actively still involved with the client, with the student. So you take this place that I'm doing, we're doing a leadership camp over the summer, and what are we doing? For anybody who had Fs, anybody who had some suspensions over the year, guess what? You gotta get your butt in here over the summer, and we gotta work on this stuff. I got the kids reading books like this. Work on yourself. How are you dealing with this depression and these traumas that you have? See, it's not enough to just teach us about traumas. You got to teach them what to do to solve their own problems. So I got them read Work on Yourself. I got them read Daddy Issues, which we all got. Why fathers are important and how to love and forgive a father that hurt you. I got my kids reading this right now. And then I got them reading this heavyweight here. Prison is not an option. The seven action steps to help Black and Latino students to avoid prison, homicide, and poverty. I got them breaking it down. Why? So I'm using the summer to help these kids work on themselves. If you got in trouble all school year, get in here and get some knowledge. Get in here and let's find out what's going on with you. And I'm telling you, this process has been magic. Nothing outside of us doing the work is gonna work. There's no special, no. And this is why me, as a national speaker, will always still stay in the humble space of a trainer and a coach who is not beyond my place or lot in life to actually go back to any school, get on the ground and work with those kids myself, train that staff myself. So this is why what we know what works. The school districts will do a big district-wide talk. Okay, so like a district the other day had 1,200 people. Okay, I know that that's just a motivational talk. Real trainings have to be broke down into segments and groups. So like another place I went, they recognized that. They got 19 schools. And so before we left, we were able to legitimately work out, how can you get this message to all 19? How can we physically work it out to where it works out, but everybody gets their personal time? It's a huge demand on me because I don't have the time. But what did I do? I said, we're gonna work it out. If you work with us, we'll work with you. And guess what? We made a deal. So now all of those employees get to get their individual time and talk about the individual issues at their campus, not trying to lump people together. That's the old way of doing it. It doesn't work. That's my whole thing is I am not gonna do something that doesn't work because I am too result driven. I'm completely convinced if we do our job and we do the things we're supposed to do, we're gonna be successful. Nothing outside of us doing the work and spending that time to really work on the issues that we have. So when you have a staff that's in a high level trauma zone, dealing with all these issues, you have to understand the staff needs different training. The staff has to have training that's gonna speak to their needs. When you are a servant who works in a highly depressive area, we have to be cognitively aware of that effect that has on staff. Staff becomes now high risk of depression. So this is why we run our program this way. The teachers get training. We help the teachers to work on their responsibility. And guess what? We work with the parents because you need to know your responsibility because the parent is the one facilitating this stuff. Now we work with the kids. The kids as young as 4. I've talked to a group of preschool kids about how to behave in school. And do you realize, I'm telling you, I asked a group of kids in New York a couple of weeks ago, I said, tell me why do kids act up in school? I had a 6-year-old stand up and said, because a lot of us act up in school because we have problems at home. I can't make this up, people. And we're just like you could just hear the wind come out the staff when it was like, oh my God. Because why does a 6-year-old know this is what's really happening with me, but the adults don't? That's what I'm saying. The personal problems that our students are having are not going to get better. So if that's the case, then we need to make an adjustment. That's what our program's all about. We understand we make the differentiation between school levels. Most teachers were trained in traditional education. Well, that's not what we're dealing with. Traditional education assumes that 80% of our student population comes from a tax-paying American working home. Doesn't mean they're married, doesn't mean they're in a good space. It just means they go to work. Right now, the data told us those 4 years ago that over half of all students in America are Title I free and reduced lunch. That number is escalating. So if your district is over 30%, you're running a title program and you don't even know it. So it's so important for you to understand, who am I serving? What does that look like? Kids need more daily inspiration. Kids need remediation. That means they're coming to the classroom with 2 to 4 grade levels behind every day. Teachers aren't trained to jump those gaps. So now it becomes our job as a training program to teach teachers what are they looking for, how do they do this, because it's not going to happen through traditional methods. And now we deal with kids that have life circumstances, problems with their family dynamic, court problems, probation, abuse, neglect, incarcerated parents. And then the worst part is, it's 2017, but we got a group that's trying to be the first people in their family to graduate from high school, not college, high school. High school. It's 2017, and that's the reality. You can't tell me that the teachers don't need additional help. You're getting them help, but is it the help they need? And the help that will help them do the job better. We know we can get a staff to get kids to test better. It doesn't come down to anything outside of what approach is the teacher taking to make the connection to the kid, to tap into the kid, to get that production out of them. Anything outside of production, we don't want. Everybody's got to produce. Everybody's got to carry their own water. That's what we run our program on. Nobody's getting a pass. The kid's not getting a pass. You don't get to cuss people out, do whatever you want to, not do your work, and you think you're still going to be up in here. Everybody is held accountable. Kids, parents, teachers, principals. Accountability across the board. Not just holding the fire to the teachers, holding the fire to the kid, holding the fire to the parent. Everybody, do your job. And that's what this is about. So with that known, We working on building teamwork. We working on being consistent. We working on improving our communication, working on teaching and showing people how to confront young people and parents that do the wrong thing and communicate in the wrong ways, not have conflict with them, confront them. That is our job. That is our duty. When we do it, we have success. And always maintaining your confidence. That's how you build a strategically powerful, disciplined program at your school. It keeps us strong, it keeps us consistent, and when we do it, we can win. For me to have 7 schools this year to turn from a F or a D minus to a B and above is the greatest honor I could be possibly bestowed. I am result driven, I am result oriented. I'm not trying to give good talks. I'm trying to move schools in the direction they need to go to win this game and compete at the highest level. It's tough stuff, but with the right guidance, it can be done. And that's what we're about. Dr. Jackson here, really excited, really pumped up, always eager to help, grow, work with new schools. If you know this is something that you need, please don't hesitate. Contact us today. We're looking forward to working with you soon. I'll see you next time.